Welcome to the most must YouTube channel history. Welcome to my TV. In today's video, I would love to read chapter 2 of Saraya Helen Boots. And the last chapter that I did read was a good start because if you guys haven't even checked out the first part of the video, make sure you go back here and watch. I put the link in the description, and we got a lot of things to talk about. Also, if you haven't familiar with my channel and see how I was doing, I made a lot of videos like vlogging during the events, meet and greets and stuff like this. Make sure you hit the subscribe button and tap the bell for notification. Excuse me, I will say it again. Subscribe, tap the bell, turn on notifications so you don't miss the upload. So today I'm going to read chapter 2 and see how Soya's story goes in. Oh, I just opened it just that. Alright. Alright, so without further ado, how many pages is this? Nah, I don't want to spoil it because I had to see for myself and how long this chapter goes. But I hope it's pretty good. True story. Chapter 2, Raised by Wolves. Sink, I demanded, standing next to a cooker in our little kitchen. Started up at Mom. I was really young, maybe 3 or 4. She was running around like a chicken with her head cut off, trying to keep up with the chaos of our household. One that grew or shrank depending on the day of the week, and which of the many different characters, mostly wrestlers, were staying with us at the moment. But whenever I asked for a bath, she caved. She adored me and would spoil the shit out of me all the time. In that sink, I felt safe and loved, surrounded by sweet smelling foam and my mother's warm attention. From that higher vantage point, I was able to see everything. That crazy ass, but wonderful mayhem of our house. And it feels as if I were as tall as the others. I was still a lot smaller than Zach, who was 14 months older, but I was gaining on him. Mom gave me a cup so I could pour water on my head, over my head, and sometimes I dumped the entire cupful over the side of the sink just to see what would happen. I was a menace from my first breath. My love of mischief showing up early. Mom never got mad though. She just laughed and fake scolded me before cleaning up the mess. After I was washed, Zach was often bathed before me. She wrapped us both in towels and took us to sit near the radiator to keep us warm. Well, we dug into a bowl of cornflakes with milk she placed there just waiting for us. I always asked for more sugar, and she asked, give it to me. It was the simple things Mom did that I just adored. She kept us toasty, wrapped up like that. Once I was dry, I got dressed for the day and crawled under Daniel's legs. He sat on the seat watching the telly, a blanket thrown over the legs. I climbed under the cover, making a little fort for myself, protected from all the badness in the world. Sometimes Zach joined me, but other times I was alone and happy. I pretend I was the animal, usually Nala from the Lion King. Speaking of Lion King, speaking of which, I made I changed my my gaming channel to the Lion Kings with the Y. So if you look at the the link is in the description, check it out. But this one here is the actual Lion King. You watch the Lion King with Simba, Scar, Mufasa. I just watched the original and the motion picture one. So okay, I'll stop. With that above and surrounding me, I felt secure. He was a big man, arms like Popeyes, thighs as big around as the tires on lorries, his hands the size of supper plates. I seen him pounding the living daylights out of people, so I knew he could protect me better than anyone on his planet for everything. Under his legs, nothing bad could ever come near me. He was my world. In our household, family was everything. I knew this from the time I could crawl. Zach was my only best friend from me to get go. He kept close to me at all times. And at some point, we started to feel as were twins. The age difference dissolving as I caught up to him in size. Both of us glad to be at each other's company. Sure, we fought like all siblings do, tearing at the other's hair, raking nails across skin, and we got each other's in trouble. In general, though, we were two peas in the pod. We also have older siblings, dad's kids from the earlier marriage. I've always hated the term half siblings. We were brothers and sisters, blood related. There's nothing halfway about it to us. Roy and Nikki were a good bit older, and by the time Zach and I came along, they both had places of their own. Asa was only 4 years older, the closest in age to me is Zach, but he lived most of the time with his mother, Dad's ex-wife. Ooh. Meanwhile, a never-ending cast of characters show up at our door whenever a big wrestling match was on TV, or there was a tasty meal to be had. I never knew who'd be sitting at the table come dinner time or sleeping over at that. Oh, I'm sorry for being. I never knew who'd be sitting at the table come dinner time or sleeping over on any given night. That's bad. This was just how family operated. One time, an older woman was visiting us. She picked me up and was talking very close to my face. I squirmed, trying to get away from the stench coming from her mouth. I mixed her onions, stale washcloths, and garlic. I kept pulling my face away from hers, but the odor flooded over me. When she wouldn't put me down, the words tumbled from my mouth. Your breath smells like dog shit. Oh my gosh. I screamed at her. I was only four, and Mom was mortified, though, laughing under her breath. Saraya-Jade, she scolded. Apologize. And generally, no one scolded me for speaking the truth. In fact, I appreciate it. As I said, my parents were always honest with me and valued when I was honest with them. Maybe they should have thought twice about that because speaking my mind got me into a shit ton of trouble. It still does. From a young age, I was like, speaking my mind, even if it got me into trouble, of course. With that old woman, I was rude, but my parents had told me it was okay to speak the truth. It took me years to realize that maybe I should do it all the time. When I was little, we struggled a lot financially, but since I was so well loved, I really didn't have a clue. Tip, tip Mickey, for example. Mickey was an old British gangster. He was my godfather and one of my dad's best mates. They met when they were both in prison. Mickey loved and died on me. Whenever he came around, he always had presents for me, and sometimes a little something for Zach. Come here, Raya. Mickey called one Sunday using the nickname my family favorite. I got something special for you. Mickey had longish, wispy hair and reminded me of the rock star, slender and really. I was only a small thing when he dragged into our living room. The most gorgeous pretzel I ever laid eyes on. A rocking horse the size of the real pony, made of wood that had been lovingly sanded and painted. She had genuine hair for a mane and white glossy hide. Her eyes were so realistic and captivating, even eyelashes. She was a goddamn beauty. I was sure she would speak to me when everyone else went away and we were alone together. I couldn't believe it how lucky I was. For as long as I could remember, I've been pestering my parents for a horse, making an absolute nuisance for myself. They used to be, they used to revenge. Wherever Dad wanted me to do something, he'd tease me. Be a good girl, and maybe we'll get you that horse you want. Yeah, right. But now, even though this wasn't a real horse, it was a pretty fucking close. I needed help to pull myself onto the horseback. She was so big, Mickey gave me a boost. In a way, I went in my imagination. Why did his glorious animal all over England? Uh, Mom and Dad looked at each other. I paid zero attention. I was in heaven. My parents were far from thrilled since we could barely squeeze the rocking horse into a front room behind the cherry shop couch and Dad's recliner. Certainly, there was no place else for a small home. Hours went by. Mickey left, and I was to practically be pulled from the horse to have my tea. As soon as I finished, I climbed right back on and rode that horse until I almost fell asleep on her back. Mom finally carried me off to Dreamland in the room I shared with Zach. Our family was skint, that dinner was sometimes mashed potatoes, sandwiches, which to be honest, I adore, and what was always do. Bill collectors sometimes came to the door and we pretended we weren't home. Dates were pretty fucking tight. I get it now. Yeah, paying bills, rent. Mm. But I did it then. When I woke the next day and rushed from my bed to greet my horsey friend, ready to finally have the conversation I'd be dying to have with her, to hear about all the amazing places she'd been and the wisdom I knew she was just waiting to share with me. My beloved horse was gone. She's been switched out with a tiny fucking plastic rocking horse suitable for a baby. I screamed like a banshee. Wow, that's kind of messed up. Um, yo, my thoughts on that. Um, I gotta tell you, she really wanted a real horse. Like, for real. She's not gonna ride the rocket horse, the toy version of it. She wanted the real life horse. Like, I remember when I was little, I used to ride a horse. I was so scared that I can't remember. My parents always wanted to support me to ride the horse. And the last time I remember, I ride for like less than 2 minutes. That's what I remember. Man, that was a good times. It was the first time I rode the horse. Well, and since I'm older now, I wanted to see if I could ride the actual horse. So it did allow me. So man, that was a good memories right there. But this way here, Saraya wanted to ride a horse for real. I mean, she was young at the time. Man, I feel bad for her that she had to ride the rocking horse right there, and she was so pissed. Okay, my parents tried to call me my beautiful creature. They explained was half the size of our living room. It wasn't practical to keep it, and besides, they needed the money for bills. They sold my horse to buy groceries and to keep the heat on. Wow. Did they think I was destined enough to believe this wiki dick shit looking plastic horse was the same as my destiny girl? I kicked the new horse and collapsed in tears. Get her back! I screamed. Go buy her back! But that was impossible. The money has already been spent. We had to get food and pay bills, Mom said. And it was taking us a lot of space. I tried to get you a replacement that more your size and appropriate for our house. I was fucking destroyed and cried for months. I'm still not over it. though, I can now see the truth. There's no way we could have kept her. She took up all the space in the front room, and there were more pressing needs. I understand fully why they got rid of her, but when I was younger, all I could think was, "You evil, awful parents." Oh my goodness, that's the same thing that man. I wish I want to talk about my parents, but I don't want to talk about that. But it's pretty disturbing, and I feel bad for it, man. I mean, my and, and the thing about this, as we were young, we as we little, we used to hate our parents. Like for real, like we fight against the parents. We fight against the each other, the siblings and stuff. Like it's hard to believe like the parents are trying to be responsible for taking care of the child, not abusing the child. Like, and I get it because I know families is a little bit complicated and stressful. But at the end of the day, once you grow up, you have to forgive the parents, and parents will forgive you. So I kind of feel bad for when when children are start to get mad at the parents for not giving them what they want. So it's crazy. It wasn't long after that Mickey was murdered. At least that what my parents believe. The whole thing was kind of shady. He died in what the official record called a heroin overdose. Wow. But my parents was convinced that that wasn't the case. First of all, Mickey had never been to heroin, and he had been found dead with the surgery taken out his arm. Given the amount of drugs found in his body during the autopsy, oh my gosh, man, I was just this gonna be a Patreon. He would have nodded off right away, unable to remove the surgeon himself. My parents did hide that they they were certain his death was not accidental of his own doing. He had not exactly lived my honest lifestyle. My dad was crushed. Mickey had been his best mate, and even though Daniel has been mostly given up drinking when he met mom, and they had Zach and me. For a week or two following Mickey's death, he downed vodka like it was water. Somewhere in his own world, after a while, he pulled himself together. I kind of feel bad for the family like this, cause um I was thought about that too, but in Mickey's death, it was somebody has been set him up with there, and somebody has doing it to him. So I don't know, but there is no evidence, but this book tells the story. So I'm not sure about what's going on, but they believe that there was a I want to talk about that, but let's keep going. This was the world I lived in. One of which was rocking horses disappeared in order to keep our bellies full, and were oppressive carrying gangsters like Mickey ended up murdered for no good reason. But as a kid, it was all just normal life, nothing remarkable. That's right. What saved me throughout that time and still goes now is my love for animals. I don't know how I came to this understanding, but I think I had from the day I shipped my first nappy. I knew it's instantly that people could be mean and nasty to one another, harmful and vicious in so many ways. Animals, though, were different. If you treated them well, they return the favor. They could be trusted, so I surrounded myself with them wherever possible. Few years post Walking Horse, I connected with the older lady and would go to her house after school. She was the animal hoarder. Her house cramped with every kind of creature under the goddamn sun. Ugh. Even an aviary full of birds. She let me take home some of her pets as of my own. One day, I brought home a king python. I'm calling Zaza. A python? You mean a big snake? Uh, my parents were into classic films. I knew about the fancy woman Zaza Gabor. I thought that was such a classic name for a snake. I love her and would love to talk to her at night. Her golden and black scaled body was soft and dry to the touch, and she stuck out her tongue for me. To feed her, I bought frozen dead mice from the pet store, defrosting them first. Zaza would never touch them frozen, and dangling them in front of her to convince Zaza they were moving. She was very picky eater. At one point, I convinced my mom to let me buy a pet mouse with a little cage. Bailey, named for Bailey's Irish Cream. Many things to our world were named for alcohol. Okay, two things. Number one, I scale steaks. That's true. And number two, and most importantly, the mice, I get scared too. I never gonna touch these mice. Especially well, it's okay for me to touch snakes, but when it comes to all the fangs and toxins, I do not want to touch touch the snakes because you know how vicious they are. I was worried Bailey was lonely all by herself, so I convinced mom to let me get a second mouse named Jason. For Jason Irish whiskey, a male. Mom knew about mice and the tendency to breed, so why she let me do it, I don't know. As much as I wanted to be veterinarian, sometimes I haven't yet learned much about the reproductive habits of mice. I was cleaning out the cage one day, and in the bed area, I saw a bundle of pink stuff. I got closer and poked at the little pile that had babies. I was so excited. I didn't tell my parents. I just got more cages to house the little ones, but the space between the metal bars with Arthur's cages was way too big to hold back mice babies. They were able to wiggle through the slats and get away. Uh-oh. I panicked, tried to collect them as fast as I could and shoved them back into the cages. Oh shit, that is gonna kill me. For all this toughness, Dad was super squeamish about mice and hated them for more than just about anything. He was annoyed Mom had let me get the tube as pets in the first place. If he knew about the babies, he'd be pissed at me. Uh-oh. Mm. I went into a cupboard and grabbed pillowcases to put around each of the cases to keep the babies from fleeing. There, that should do it. But wait a minute, a pillowcases? Yo, what? Wait a minute. I know the cases I don't know about the small or anything, but how they gonna breathe through the pillowcases? Mm. Wait a minute. Where I leave at? Okay. Okay. But when I came home from school the next day, the mice had chewed through the pillowcases and were gone. Oh snap! Wow. Yo, these mice is trying to find a way out. Scattered throughout the room, I found them in corners of my bedroom, hiding my shoes and drawers. I scrambled to get them all, but soon the babies were having babies, and they were grandbabies with it too. Shit! Wow, man, it looks like the mice are infested all over the place. If Dad found out about the mice explosion, I would be in much trouble. Mm. The next night, people came to watch a wrestling match at our house. A neighbor screamed when she saw one of the mice scamper across the floor. The man who owned the pub down the road saw one in a bathroom. Dad, who haven't noticed the mice until that moment, finally caught on and was now having a heart attack for every 5 minutes. He's not a very angry kind of guy, but to get away from the mice, he moved with the speed of a lightning bolt. My God. Get these fuckers out of my house. That was it. Mom had it. She took the cages from my room and brought them into the back garden. Opening the cage doors, my adorable mice ran into the windy yard and made their getaway. Wow. I was sad and cried, but I also celebrated their freedom. Imagine the adventures they might have. Oh my gosh. My reaction to this, if you get two mice right there, they're gonna breed as babies. No, listen. If you get male mice and female mice, you know how they're related. That they're gonna breed their children, and another breed another, and the whole thing spreads. So the family finds out about this, and they notice they have to kick them all out. It's like, get off my property, and all the mice has gone free. So man, I feel bad for Saraya who doesn't have a pet anymore. But at the same time, she celebrated the film. So man, but I'm glad they'll do something harmful to him. Before we knew it, though, the entire fucking neighborhood was infested. Oh. Though the neighbors did complain, the crows got into other people's homes, so they seen dying in the alleyway. Even the church behind our house and the council house were overwhelmed with them. Eventually, the council's house people arranged for the entire area to be fumigated. My little mice had taken over everything, and that was the only option left. As I said, I was a menace for the get go. After that, my parents tried to stop me from bringing home pets, but I didn't listen. I just did what I wanted, seemed a bit hypocritical to me as a kid. Since my parents had always been the ones to teach me to ask forgiveness after the fact, if necessary, but to never wait for permission. One time, I unknowingly stole the neighbor's dog. It was the Alsatian, a bigger version of the German Shepherd, who's been running around on her own. I thought she might be a stray, so I took her home. The dog was beautiful and regal for all once. Daniel was on board with me bringing home strays. Maybe we'll keep this one, he said, though he quickly changed his tune when the dog took a shit in the living room. Mm. It turned out to be gorgeous creatures belonged to Emily, the owner of the Chinese restaurant just down the road. She knocked on the door and could have been nicer. Can I please have my dog back? She asked. I haven't meant to steal her dog, and would never have done anything to hurt Emily. I adore her, but to me, any animal on its own appear available for adoption. One night, a friend of mine came over with a dog. Her, looks like something's going on in the background. So anyway, let's keep going. One night, a friend of mine came over with a dog. Her friends, a gay couple, were moving aboard and could take the dog with them. She was all black and gorgeous. I managed to convince Dad to let me keep this one. Her name was Tari, a short for Tarigan. Well, we had two dogs in a small house. It was, it was a mayhem after that. Zach had a turtle and a hamster. I named Rowdy for my dad's wrestling name. Rowdy, Ricky Knight. I had two rabbits, Peter and Pixie, and two birds, Rocco and Roxy. And after a while, the house was too crowded, and that made me get tired to his friend Joe. I can't deal with all these animals, Dad said. Zach was much the same as the love for animals. When we were younger, the two of us went to a little pond down the park. A 10-minute walk and caught toads and frogs we brought home. We dug a pond to our back garden and carrying buckets full of water for the kitchen, constructing a place for them to live. Of course, they escaped immediately. Man, what was going on back there? Man, they're not funny neighbors. Oh, man. Uh, I don't know. Children's quite a lot, so digging over it. Um, I don't know what's going on back there, so let's keep it going. All right, so okay, let's skip it. Wait, wait, did I read this part? Okay, is that what's the same thing? Wait. Oh my god, they threw me off. What? Okay, now I remember. I remember. So, okay, so that was the same place for. Oh yeah, I did read that part. All right, I was always trying to make the same place for any animal friends, and what about place for it to than my house? Loved by me, protected by my family. That's the safest place there is. All that started to change though. My brother uh, came to live with us. I learned later that his mother basically abandoned him and had shown him nothing but neglect for his very first breath. My dad wasn't even his real father, but he had raised Isa as his own anyway. Isa joined our family as if we always been part of it. By the time I was too big to be bathed in the sink, I often took a bath with Zach and Asa. All of us throwing bubbles and water at one another at a time. I should have known something was quite right when Asa intentionally pooped in the bath. Ugh. I don't know how, as a child, I knew that was wrong in a way that he, too, should have known. He and Zach thought it was hilarious. Me, not so much. Wow. Yo, this chapter, it's kind of funny to me. Like, this chapter, is hilarious because, um, um, okay, so this chapter, talked about how Saraya, wants the animal lover. So yeah, she's an animal lover, and she wanted to ride a horse. She wanted to take care of the mice, but she didn't know about the breed, the infestation and stuff. And she wanted the dog, but she didn't mean to steal from the neighbors. So and I gotta say, the thing is that she loves the animals, and 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 fun facts. I remember she have a dog right there. One of them was Lobster, and she loves Lobster. Yeah, that was a good times that she used to take care of the dogs. And wait, did she have two dogs? I remember she had one. That's the last time I remember. The one thing that I thought about this is because she wanted to ride a horse, the real life horse, not the one with the rocking chair, and that was her dream that she wanted to have. And the funniest part that she talked to her old lady right there that her breath smells like shit. I was like, wow. Not only is it was assaulting, but it was funny. And I kind of like this chapter because it's interesting because the book tells the story and not by its cover, and I really enjoy it. The first two chapters is very interesting because I kind of feel like that I want to pet myself. Like I wanted two dogs. One's a male dog and the other's a female, and I want one of the dogs to be the bodyguard when in case somebody try to burglarize the house. The dog will keep an eye watch to make sure that we're safe, and and we want the dog to defend ourselves. Like for example, if the burglar has um uh the weapon, like let's just say it's a steel chair for example. If he grabs a steel chair and the dog senses it, he gonna bite the dog shit out of his legs and try and force it to get him out. But if they try to mess around my animals, my dogs, then we're gonna have a bigger problem. So I'm gonna go out there and use the I don't know what I'm gonna use, but I'm gonna try to do everything in my power to protect my family, my dogs, my future children, and my future wife. So I wish I had a family like this because I live alone with my roommate. So apparently I want a nice family. Not the one that was family in generations. So this book tells a good story that she have loving animals and stuff. Her parents not a fan of it. They're not a fan of, well, her father obviously is not a fan of the situation that's going on with the mice, pythons, dogs, and stuff. Cause what they wanted to do is that they wanted to make money to pay the bills, buy food, put food on the table. That's a major important thing. And in the future, when they grow up and they're still thinking about the animals and stuff, they can make it happen. So I love this chapter, by the way. So it was a good start for the beginning. Last week was good. And today was very interesting. I can't wait to read the next chapter. So guys, thank you so much for stopping by. I really want to read the next chapter. So if you guys new to this, make sure to leave a like, hit subscribe, and share with your friends to recommend to read this book if you haven't already. So it's only available at Barnes& and Noble. I put a link in the description so you guys can understand. This book tells the thousands of words of the story. So I love it there. So I want it to be Saraya one day. So guys, thank you so much for watching. I will catch you guys on the road. Peace.